So in this video, I'm going to walk through my 4 preferred ways to concealed carry. This episode is for someone that's maybe a couple years into concealed carry, or you've been doing it a long time, but you just want to try something new. Check out the 4 different ways that I carry. Let's go. All right, so the first one you may already been noticed is inside the waistband carry. The first, observation you might have is, Jay, do you always wear clothes so tight? And the answer is sometimes, especially Tuesdays. I think I print. Tell me what you see from the camera. And everybody says nobody's looking at you. And I believe this. Everybody's walking, they're in their own zone, they're looking at their phones, everybody's pretty selfish in their ways. But yet, it's kind of a big package. I think I should get some tube stocks, shove them down there. Maybe the bulge would go all the way down. People would notice less. If you wear really loose t-shirts, you can get through a little better. Typically speaking, if I'm inside the waistbanding, IWBing, probably gonna throw on just a flannel. So just something to kind of fit over the rest of it. So you throw this on and then you'd never ever notice. That's one way to do it. Pros and cons. Inside the waistband, people say if you're sitting, you're driving a lot, you jump in the truck, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. You can kind of move it and turn it. They make different holsters. I'll do a whole different episode on this, but holsters with claws that help, turn the handle in a little bit. This one's bent and contorted, so it kind of keeps that in a little bit. Different ways to hide not printing or to make it a little bit more comfortable. When you're in the walking position, I think it's very comfortable. Again, wearing just some clothes around like this, you're not printing, very good. Maybe if you're doing a lot of sitting, not the best. Probably the best pro, in my opinion, is that the appendix carry is the fastest draw. It's just a quick lift, and then you're into it. Something to consider. This, by the way, is the SIG P365, which is my light EDC carry. All right, let's go on to number 2. All right, second way I like to carry is the 4 o'clock outside the waistband position, the OWB holster. You can carry kind of at 3 or at 4 o'clock. I think most people are usually finding it at 4 o'clock a little more comfortable, maybe a little less print. I usually wear it when I wear a suit. So if I know I'm not taking the suit off, nobody's ever gonna see it. Even if your suit's, you tell me, even with the suit kind of closed, nobody's ever gonna know, as long as you don't take it off. Even if so, if you're wearing a little bit looser shirt, it's not too bad. It kind of prints from the back, but if you were sitting down for a little bit, maybe people wouldn't notice. Otherwise, when you're up dancing or moving around, just keep your suit on. Pros and cons, sitting is a lot more comfortable like this, I find. Depends on the chair a little bit. Still have a pretty quick draw. It's about as fast as an appendix carry for the most part. Especially if you practice these things. So very accessible. It just is pretty noticeable, right? If you take your jacket off and forget, all of a sudden you're on the dance floor doing the chicken dance, shaking you might scare the children. So this is number 2. Outside the waistband. All right, so number 3, you maybe never heard of this one, and that's wearing, a Huggy belt, comfortable carry solutions. Part of me wants to call this thing a girdle, a hip belt, a waist belt, a hugger. You can call it whatever you want, but I actually do find myself wearing this. And so this, just very simply, you just throw it on your waist. Now, a lot of times I do it under a shirt if I'm wearing a looser shirt. Otherwise, definitely it is more comfortable if you have a t-shirt on underneath. So, and you need to pull it pretty tight. They make a medium and a large in this one. This is medium. Or if you don't pull it tight, it'll start to sag on you after an hour. So pull it pretty tight. Okay. And then you've got your firearm pocket here. Something else that's kind of neat of these is you get additional pocket. You could actually put a tourniquet or, some kind of a medic pack or whatever foo-foo you want to carry. But I wanted to show you how much you can actually carry in these things. So this is my Kimmer Rapide. It's unloaded. It actually fits a full-size 1911. Okay, so that is right in the 3 o'clock position. With a 5-inch barrel, it does touch against your pants a little bit or hang down a little bit to your belt. If you were to just throw something in like my standard EDC, like a Springfield Hellcat or a P365, you wouldn't have that problem. But I just want to show you how much that this thing can support and can hold. And then, of course, you got to throw something over it, like a zip up, light golf jacket or something like that, and nobody would ever know. Benefits are they're pretty comfortable. It does get warm, and so that's a good and a bad thing. I live in Minnesota, so it's often cold, so having just a little extra warmth isn't the worst thing. The worst thing for me is that if I wear this with just a t-shirt on, I look like I do Thanksgiving. I'm like the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters walking around. I feel like it really affects me personally with my body type. As long as I'm wearing something like this over it, you would absolutely never know. Do you see that I'm carrying a full-size 1911 right here? No. Now, you draw a little bit slower, right? You probably got to zip down. And then, you don't have to carry this flap. I actually like carrying it. It just keeps it real secure. But, you've kind of got an uncomfortable draw there a little bit. So you might get tangled up a little bit. That is a negative. P365 in here. This little guy, you see, doesn't even protrude underneath. And again, it's even less to really conceal. And again, you're kind of grabbing a little bit slower, warmer. Makes you feel like you're wearing a girdle a little bit. If you put it too loose, what you'll find is when you're walking around, it'll start to kind of sag a little bit, and you probably have to go in the bathroom and hug it up. And then it gives you like a little bit of a beer belly. Still a really great option. And again, you can put some other things in it if you want to. So that's number 3. All right, and this is number 4. Do I look like I'm carrying a Glock 19 size pistol? So I carry this bag. If you happen to watch my episode on my EDC, you'd know that this is the Rogan by Kafaru. It's a fanny pack, call it what it is. I've got this thing decked out with all of my EDC gear. This holds a full-size pistol. Again, the Glock 19 size, which is what this is. This is a palmetto dagger. Fits, I mean, it kind of swallows it up in here, if you can see. It's got plenty of room. You could fit a full Glock 17 in here. Well, heck, let's throw in the Kimber Rapide. Man, I love Kimber. They just make beautiful firearms. That's gone. That just totally ate that thing up. I mean, here you go. You got nothing printing on your body, really. Of course, you've got a bag that you're carrying, and you have got a full-size pistol. Now, the larger the pistol, the harder it is to get out of the bag. So I really like we'll call it the Glock 19 size. Actually, even this tiny little guy, let's check him out. He might even get kind of lost or banged around in there. Pull it over. That's pretty easy to get him out. Not bad. You know, some people with these bags, there is a little clip down here in the Rogan, and you can put a trigger guard on. So it's in there with the trigger guard, and then when you yank, the trigger guard's tied down and pops off, and you've got access. So it's another way to protect it. But so this is my favorite way to concealed carry. If you ever see me carrying my Rogan or some kind of a bag, I will show you also a way to carry this maybe a little bit more urban that fits your fancy. If you don't want to be carrying around a fanny, you just extend these things up and you can wear it. Careful on my mic, but so you still got pretty good access. You just look more urban. You might fit in, blend in even better. Maybe you really like it this way, and then you still got size pistols. There you go, 4 different ways to carry concealed. I really hope you take into consideration. Try some of these other ones. You can get into these all pretty cheap. Great options, and get out there, protect lives, and pursue happiness.